happy belated Manga Monday. I'm sorry I didn't release this video yesterday, but I was still finishing the manga I was reading. I only had like 20 chapters left, but by the time I finished it, it was about 7 o'clock at night, and that was just too late for me to record and edit the video to get it released on time. So I apologize. Today I am going to be talking about I Am a Hero. This manga is complete, and there is, I think, like 200 chapters to it. There's a lot of chapters. This is definitely by far one of the longest mangas I have read. So possible trigger warnings are there is sex, there are zombie babies, so for people who don't want to see dead babies or dead children, there's obviously lots of people dying in this manga. There are talks of suicide, and you do see some people who have committed suicide. There is also a mass murder in there as well. So there's just heads up for you guys. Oh, there's also rape. Rape is in there as well. You don't see the rape, but one of the characters talks about being raped. So I just want to make sure all those trigger warnings are known by everyone. That's my dog. That's Molly. She's such a fluffy butt. I picked this one because it was a psychological zombie one that 2 other YouTubers had put in their top 10 psychological picks. So going into it, you are following a guy in his 30s. He draws manga for a living. He has had some serialized, like published, but he's kind of in a funk. He has a girlfriend who is really sweet unless she's drunk, and then she's really rude, and I did not like her. But she did end up redeeming herself. So our main character has delusions where he sees things that are not there. He has an imaginary friend who he talks to, who basically is just his innermost self telling him the truth. So if he feels like really negative about something, his imaginary friend will be very blunt and basically tell him how he truly feels, or like why he feels like that. Again, initially I didn't know it was a delusion. You figure it out within the first couple chapters that it's not a real person, that it's a delusion, and then he sees things that aren't there and it scares him. He does this throughout the entire manga. Not consistently, but he will go through spurts where he will do it like real high stress. He reverts back to talking to his imaginative friend. The one special thing about him, which in all reality, there isn't anything incredibly special or unique about him. Not that you can see as a reader, and not that he sees within inside himself. The only unique thing about him is that he has a gun, which is really rare in Japan. So one day he has to go and take a class, I think, to just kind of update that he still has the gun. Like, you're supposed to go take safety courses. So he has his gun, and because his girlfriend was saying that she hadn't been feeling good, he decides to just check in on her. When he does, she has been bitten, and she has turned into a zombie. And from there, you go pretty fast along the story. And I really enjoyed that about this one, is that there's not a lot of lull time, and it kept me really interested and intrigued, and it made me want to keep reading every day, all day. Now, of course, the first couple chapters are slow because it's building up to that boiling point where stuff just like snaps finally and everything goes to hell. So once you get to this point, everything goes just crazy. Because he's delusional, he doesn't know what is fake and in his head or what is real, and it just kind of puts this barrier up in him. He had so many times where he could have pulled out his gun and used it, but because he's had delusions for so long, he's not sure what to do and if it's the right thing to do. And he is a very strict, law-abiding citizen. All right. There are other characters along the way that join him and his group, and you get to kind of get little bits of backstories of them, but not like full, real big, deep, in depth. You also get to see other people who eventually come into play in the end, which I really liked. I think there was one that it was just kind of random and didn't really matter. It was still interesting. I still enjoyed reading what was going on with that character, even though he wasn't really relevant to the story. It was just kind of like a nice little side chapter to see what was going on with someone else around the world. And our author does that several times, where you'll see stuff that's going on in Europe or something that's going on in China. So it is really cool that you get to just kind of drop into someone else's life for 2 or 3 chapters and see what's going on, and then you jump back to our main character, or you go to another group for a couple chapters and then go back to our main character. So it's kind of a nice break from the main character, and then you get to advance. And I will say, for our main character, there is a ton of character growth. I did not like the main character for at least 70 chapters, because not only was he really indecisive and kind of like a crybaby whiner, but he just like didn't have a lot of gumption. And when him and this other girl were trying to escape zombies, he was basically willing to like let her go, like let go of her hand and sacrifice her to save himself. Now, I get that in certain high stress situations, you never know what you're going to do. I do want to say, I do also like the fact that the author does point out that a lot of females, or at least to our main character's perspective, is a lot of the females will sit there and be like, well, you're a guy, you should go do this. And him being the guy is like, well, that's just, you're just being sexist. You're trying to put me in this dangerous situation because I'm a dude, but like, hey, equality, why don't you go do it? Like, why do I have to do it? Which I think is really awesome and really true. I do think guys definitely get put in a lot more dangerous situations, and I do think it's almost like a knee-jerk reaction for people or women or whoever to sit there and be like, well, you're a man, go do this. And it really isn't fair, all things considered. So something else I thought was really cool is it's not just one kind of zombie. Now, you do have like your normal everyday kind of zombies, but then you have like mutants, and then you have like other mutated zombies. So it almost goes in like this really cool stage. It's like you have the flood of zombies, and then you have a mutation, and then another mutation, and they don't all mutate the same. And then you have to go through the conspiracy theories, where some people are like, well, the government did it, or it's a biological warfare, or it's aliens. So then you, as a reader, you're trying to figure out where this is coming from. Is it aliens? Is it biological warfare? Like, what is going on? So I also really enjoyed that, and I thought it was really cool how everything was done in the end. And I will say, everything in the last 10 chapters just kind of niched together in a really nice way, and it came together really well. Like I said, it was just mwah, very good. I was not sure how I was going to like it going in, but I did really enjoy the manga. I would highly recommend you reading it. The only last tidbit I'm going to say is, although I liked the ending, I didn't like it at the same time. I definitely would have preferred the ending to be different, but more so just so it would make me feel more complete and more happy if it ended in the way I wanted. Not saying the author didn't end it in a very good way. There's so much to it. It's definitely one of the best mangas I've read. I think this is like my second zombie one, and I really like it. If you have a chance, you should definitely pick it up. It's translated to English. You can get it at Barnes & Nobles. You can get it from Amazon.com. You can get it tons of places. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Sorry this video is late. And yeah, If you have any recommendations, please leave them in the comments below. I am going to try to find more zombie manga to read when I get a chance. All right. Bye, everyone.